Mark, you're getting better and better at that guitar solo.
Right, I'm telling you, just feeling it. It's all the Guitar Hero I played.
Right.
You mash your fingers up.
Mash your fingers up. Smoking was impressive.
You mash the fingers up on the little strings like mealy, 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 mealy.
You know what the secret is? On the bridge, he doesn't use a metal thing. It's not a steel guitar. He uses a wedge of cheese.
That's it, and a wah-wah pedal, and I'm good to go.
That was the Hendrix maneuver, right?
Yeah. Right, exactly. Wedge of cheese.
And then I walk outside with the guitar and set all of us on fire. It's a great show.
Good evening, everybody. It's 9 o'clock. It's Friday night. It's time for the What's on Joe Mind team stream. Thanks for joining us. I'm your cheese-infused host, Mike Irizarry. How's everybody?
Head cheese.
Yeah, sure.
That doesn't sound as good as I thought it was going to sound.
No, it's
big cheese. How's that? The big cheese.
It implies that I'm made with pork products and gelatin, which is not far from the truth.
So gross.
Or that you're teaming with Al Snow.
That's a good point, too.
Less successful tag teams.
That's right.
Wow. I wouldn't expect them there to go.
No, we've been trying to hit that Al Snow reference all year.
But Ryan, especially him being an Ohio boy.
I appreciate Ryan dunking the lob.
But with us here in the top row this week, joining us, Joe Colton is on assignment. So we decided to get another Canadian, a Canadian substitute, if you will. Joining
in Canada.
Yeah, right, an actual Canadian. Long-time collaborator with our fine channel and a longtime podcaster in his own right, the host of the No Direction podcast, Ryan Costello is with us.
Yay, and I'm very happy to be here. And amazed that this is my first guest host job.
Right? That's because Gary ain't running things anymore.
Was Gary holding me back? No, now that Gary's gone, you're holding me back? What's going on here, Mike?
I don't know. Somebody's holding somebody back. It's probably the guy in the bottom row.
Hey, I mean, I just figure after this, doors are just going to fly open for you, right?
Yes.
Nobody knows success until they've tasted What's on Joe Mind success.
Update that resume. I know I will.
But, joining us live from Augusta, Georgia, in his scenic hotel room at the Holiday Inn Express. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll go with that, right?
Pretty much. Motel 5.
Motel 5. Not quite Motel 6.
No.
It's the Honcho, Mark Weber.
Oh, so good. And I shouldn't disparage. We're actually in the Augusta Marriott, which is attached to the convention hall. There ain't nothing better than an attached hotel where you can, if you happen to buy too much, you can run it up to the room. If you need a 30-minute power nap, you're good. And like the last ShowCon I went to, as much as I dearly adore my wife and children, there's nothing like going on your own. The room's as cold as I wanted to be. It's as quiet as I wanted to be. I took a nap this afternoon. It was fantastic. So
that's messed up.
Oh, I'm living the wildlife, but it's exactly what I want, and that doesn't happen all that often.
So the room is set at 58 degrees.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. So, and when I got in here, I flung open the curtains, and I'm looking out at. I think I'm on the 3rd floor. I'm looking out at the roof of the 2nd floor and a whole bunch of air conditioning units. So
all humming along.
Lovely. And they wouldn't let me take a picture actually piggybacking on the Ben Hogan statue at the airport, which I think is garbage, but whatever.
Like they wouldn't let you do it for free, right? You could have paid the $5.
No, they kept saying, like, guys running at me going like, get down. You're not supposed to be on there. And I'm like, I guess he was like half kneeling, sizing up the putt, but it looked like he was waiting to start the piggyback ride, and apparently not. So fine.
They were with their deep Southern accents. That's not for climbing, sir.
Pardon me, sir. I must ask you to dismount, Mr. Hogan. And so, of course, I looked him dead in the eye and said, well, let me tell you something, brother.
Looking like Colonel Sanders, sounding like Foghorn Leghorn.
You have offended me, sir.
I demand satisfaction.
Right.
But you got the VIP treatment, huh? They flew you into scenic Augusta International.
Got to fly in and from Providence, which for me is so much better because Boston, if you've never flown through Boston's Logan Airport, you aren't missing a thing. It sucks all day long and all through the night. And so being able to fly out of Providence was great. And right before the pandemic hit last year, I had been Facebook friends and traded a lot of messages with Ron Rudat, the original G.I. Joe designer, who lives about 25 miles north of me, and I had invited him out for lunch. Say, my treat, we've never actually met in person. Would Joe Telbach would love to swing by, pick you up, take you out for lunch, pick your brain. And we were gonna do it, and that was right when the pandemic hit, shut everything down. But he's I wouldn't say, they don't say guest of honor, but he's the guy at this show. And so I got to fly down with him. So I got to meet him this morning at 6 a.m. And his lovely wife, Jenny. And Ron's a little bit older. So I was able to help a little bit with carrying some bags and maneuvering our way to Atlanta and then to Augusta. So
He's the one that got the piggyback.
Right? I don't know if you ever met, I'd never met him in person. Every bit of 6'4".
Oh,
wow.
Ron Rudat is not fooling around. So, but on the flight, I got to sit next to him and his wife, and he fell asleep pretty quick, which was good. Because if you can sleep on a flight, God bless you. So I got to talk to her the whole flight down. She's super nice. And then on the flight to Augusta, they switched seats, and I was next to him. And I was being sure not to geek out too much, because I know he's just going to get bombarded with questions all weekend at Joefest. So I just, I let him lead the conversation.
Mark's sitting there. Oh, Mr. Hasbro.
Right. Excuse me, I had a question. But it was cool.
It was Tador on the file card, but Rudat on the cartoon.
Right. Are you really a traitor, Mr. Rudat? It was that kind of stuff. But it was cool because he led the conversation, and I didn't prod him too much. But there was some stuff I didn't know, and I'm not a lore keeper like Carson is. I think I know the brand, but I don't know the intricacies of all of it. And stuff I didn't know, like Ron designed 5 vehicles, he said. I didn't know that. Never heard that before. Well, I'm like, I figured, when he said I designed 5 and he did 120 figures, I thought, okay, so it must have been work overflow, right? That's a good point. We did a fist bump, so maybe the tail end of the pandemic saved me from the whole crush handshake. So I figured there might have been
broke 2 of his knuckles, though.
Right? I figured there might have been like designer fiefdoms, right, where the vehicle guys don't want the figure guy doing their stuff or who knows what. So he said, I did 5 vehicles. And I said, oh, I didn't know that. Which ones? And he's like, oh, just let me try to remember. The hydrofoil. And I'm like,
okay.
That's like top 5 Cobra vehicles, right? Maybe top 5 vehicles, period.
Just for me.
Oh, so good. And then he said, oh, and one helicopter. And I wanted him to get there. I didn't want to pepper him with 5 helicopters and have him pick. And he said it was a Cobra one. And I said, was it the Fang? Yes, he said. So the Fang is Ron's. And then he didn't offer any other, and I didn't pepper him for options 3 through 5. But like, if I'm a vehicle guy, if they had overflow, or if Ron had just said, hey, I'd love to design a vehicle, and they're like, all right, knock yourself out. This is a Cobra boat, needs to be fast. And then he turned in the friggin' hydrofoil. That's right. The last time I'm floating him an option on working on a vehicle.
Right.
Good Lord. Like, we're good. You stay over there, figure boy.
Ron and Guy Cassidy brawling in the aisle.
Right. So yeah, I didn't know any of that. And I assume that knowledge is out there, but I didn't know it. And so it was cool to hear him talk about it today.
That's maybe a question when you find Carson. He'll have that information.
Yeah, exactly. Carson's got a panel tomorrow, so I can throw the hand up and go, hey.
He does. So again, if you're just joining us, the Honcho is at Joefest in his hotel room. Sadly, not in front of a large assembled studio audience.
No.
But we do what we can. And be sure to stop in and see all of our folks if you're down that way. At Joe Declassified, Carson and 3D Joe's, our good friend Brian Cummings, who's been on the show 4 or 5 times now. Of course, Ron, who I don't know, but Joe speaks swimmingly of at every opportunity. So we got lots of we're well represented friends on Joe Mind at Joefest, and in fact, technically we're there, just not all of us, just Mark.
Right. And I talked to Jay Sullivan for some time, who's done a big road trip out from California, hit Philly and New York first, and will never go back to New York, at least from what I hear. But he was down here, and he had a real serious bout with COVID last year, and so it was great. I mean, it's always good to see him. He's a great guy, but to see him up and about and looking great was, I think, the highlight so far. But it's early, so. But really good to see Jay out there and showing off his artwork.
But we've got we're going to try and leave time for crowd questions, but we do have a lot of news to cover this week, so let's go ahead and get to that.
Dude.
Flawless.
You're aggressively trying to take that job back, aren't you?
I pretty much just designed the hydrofoil. Take note, Joe Colton.
Gauntlet thrown.
Yep.
On our first news item, of course, if you're plugged in at all, you knew that there was a live stream on Hasbro Pulse yesterday focused on Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins. That's, of course, the Snake Eyes movie. That's debuting in theaters next month.
Maybe.
It's going to happen, Mark. So it's going to happen at this point.
You know what? I felt the same way many times, so we'll see.
That's just bitterness talking, Mark. That's just bitterness.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to be sitting there in the trailers going, we'll see, maybe. And they'll be like, dude, they had a showing before this. Like, right. It's pretty legit. I'm like,
the 7:00 show went off without a hitch, man.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll believe it when I see it.
It was the stream was hosted by actor/streamer Cleo Thomas, who I had not heard of, but I've actually apparently seen him before. He's a working actor, so I take back any of the who comments that I had initially. Working actor in Hollywood, we got to respect that.
But not connected to G.I. Joe in any way, right?
No, I think he was just a fan. Like his excitement for everything seemed genuine. So I'm gonna say that he was probably just a fan.
As long as he's a genuine fan, cool. No problem with that.
But the first bit was an interview with the artist John Guido, who did the package art for the Snake Eyes Classified movie figures. There will be new Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow t-shirts from Hot Topic that are featuring that art sometime soon. I believe next month in conjunction with the movie release. They also announced that BioWorld is releasing new apparel and merchandise in their Heroes and Villains lineup. It included a Snake Eyes and a Storm Shadow themed hooded sweatshirt, or I should say a Snake Eyes themed hooded sweatshirt and a Storm Shadow themed hooded sweatshirt, not both. And they look pretty cool. They didn't have price points on any of that stuff, and I honestly didn't go look for it. If you want to see more of that, by all means, when we're done here tonight, go watch the video. Disguise is releasing a line of costume items. They call them cosplay items. Out of respect for Joe Colton, I won't do that, but they're costume items, including masks, gloves, and mock weapons, which will be available on Amazon starting in September. The gold edition of G.I. Joe Blackout will be released on July 20th. And that update will include the movie soundtrack and player skins and other exclusive content. It will be available at GameStop for PS1, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. I would guess that there's going to be a Steam version of that coming a little later on for the PC. But
yeah, I think for the initial release, there was about a 2-month delay before it got to Steam.
Yeah. So anyways, PS1, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch players, gold edition for G.I. Joe Blackout is coming on the 20th.
With a fixed Baroness, right? No more purple hair?
There were no comment on that. I have no idea.
Well, it would have been movie Baroness, if anything, right?
Right. The movie Baroness should replace the rotten Baroness that was in the first one. Now I got no inside knowledge on this, but I assume Lenny Panzica saved us from. Because that original artwork, I swear that hair's got purple highlights. So it's not just lighting.
Is that debated at all? I was pretty sure it had purple hair.
PS.
Well,
so Diana caught my wrong number there. So PS5, sorry.
PS1.
Right.
It's a throwback edition.
It's going to be on the GameCube.
Right. I'm thinking of the PlayStation that I have on my shelf.
Right.
Not the one that's actually available to people.
When's it come out on Sega CD?
Right.
Yeah.
It'll be out on the Atari Jaguar come.
Oh,
Anyways.
I have Vectrex.
oh, that's awesome. I have in television.
Almost works too.
Round controller, the controller pad. It's awesome.
Availability on the Commodore VIC-20, not listed.
Apple II Plus.
But G.I. Joe War on Cobra 2.0, the mobile game, is also releasing on July 20. And we can't bury 1.0 fast enough. Will incorporate base customization, new troops, and troop abilities, and launches with a Snake Eyes versus Storm Shadow event. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago as well. So go back and check out our, I think it was a live stream episode that we covered that one on. Go ahead and check that one out.
They're buddies in the movie. They're going to fight?
I mean, for a while.
Well,
then they stopped calling Snake Eyes Fish Boy, and they're probably not friends anymore.
They live in a dojo. They've got to fight sometimes.
I suppose. You know who's going to win that fight?
Snake Eyes.
Whoever doesn't slip on a Kiko's corpse. Oh!
I was going to say the viewing public.
Right? Yeah.
So bitter.
You know what the Japanese translation of a Kiko is?
Dead lady?
That's right. Dead man walking.
She dead. She dead. Dead. Anyhow. And then to finish off, there was a long interview segment with Hasbro Vice President of Global Publishing, Michael Kelly, who interviewed Rob Liefeld about Snake Eyes Dead Game and Liefeld's history with the property and love for Adventure Team and Super Joe. It was kind of neat to see him pop the Invader out and play with it on camera, but I'll give him that. Rob Liefeld's love seemed genuine.
And Michael Kelly, one of the best guys at Hasbro I ever worked with.
Well, I was going to say he was your buddy, wasn't he? But I didn't want to get it wrong.
I would say was. Did something happen? What have you heard?
I mean, he came out that first 5 minutes was just a rag on Mark Weber fest.
Probably deserved it. No, great guy. Runs the whole publishing department.
Hello there, Rob Liefeld. Let me tell you something about Mark Weber.
Right. Mr. Liefeld, have you ever heard of Mark Weber? And he's like, he's that guy that made fun of me at the Todd McFarlane party. That's right. Yes, it is.
Surely not the only one.
No, just the first.
Well, probably not even the first.
I was talking to Todd and his wife, Wanda, who's brilliant because she's an ASU professor, but also stunning. And Liefeld just showed up and interrupted us and went, "You look fantastic." I said, "Thanks, Rob." He wasn't talking to me.
And that's making fun of him?
He wasn't talking to me at all. Right? I was the not important person he was going to cut off. So thanks, Rob.
Nice.
Brutal.
And then Snake Eyes Dead Game number 5 is due July 7th.
Is that the one Larry is co-writing, or is that the second to last one?
That's the last one for Dead Game. That is the Rob Liefeld miniseries.
Right, but I thought Larry Hama was picking up on some of the writing duties for the last one. Or is he doing a sketch cover?
I think he's doing some of the art for it, some of the layouts. I don't think he has anything to do. I don't know. I haven't looked at the blurb in a while because that's not a project I've been terribly enthusiastic about.
Yeah, and it also, no surprise that Rob Liefeld couldn't quite make it to the finish line.
Right?
Where's Ragtime Rob?
Yeah, Ragtime Rob actually all day today was working on the next episode of Ragtime, which will discuss something in the neighborhood of 10 books.
Wow.
Because it's been a while since he's done a Ragtime.
Well, you can threaten him with having to review Dead Game 5, right? Given his...
I mean, he signed up for that. It's already... And so he's already on that train. There's nothing he can do about that.
Need some hazard pay,
right? I mean, look, I'm not. He gets a 10% pay raise for those dead game issues, but 10% of zero is
right. That's hazard pay for having to deal with Roadblock's keenly sharp jawline
and elephant legs.
Yes.
But here's a question from Paul, real quick. Not that. You talk about Akiko dying, but no mention of the Hardmaster's sudden but inevitable fate. But yeah, we know that's coming. Like we know the Hardmaster's going to die. That's the whole crux of the story.
I mean, I thought before they mentioned
Akiko's a brand new character they created just to die.
Before they mentioned Hardmaster at all, I kind of thought Akiko was going to fill that role, right? That they were going to not bother with the Hardmaster's death. But now it looks like we get like a BOGO. So pretty excited about that.
Yeah. And so lots to talk about Dead Game. No real talk about Real American Hero. Kind of whatever. I mean, lots of love for Larry Hama, the whole thing. They showed some of the footage from the
featurette
documentary that they did, with Henry Golding and Larry Hama, and that was neat at the end. But,
with Larry looking like a stone cold pimp. Can I say that?
I mean, Larry he's 70 years old, but I wouldn't want to, like, if that dude's coming at me with a sword.
Dude, he looked so badass in that suit. Like, forget it. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And the featurettes do a great job of just making him seem like a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, the man for a number of years has not gotten his due in the realm of comic book creators, right? And writers and just classic type guys. So I'm glad that he's getting that now.
Absolutely.
So when I say seem like a superstar, I don't want to imply that he is not, because he is definitely someone that G.I. Joe owes so much to, and especially the comic book success, which basically became the continuity of the whole series.
Right.
He's the guy, like, when we talk about it, like I've always said, the Mount Rushmore of modern Joe, or Real American Hero Joe, is Ron Rudat and Kirk Bazigian and Larry Hama and Hector Garrido. Like, that's it. Other people helped, but those are the four. So I'm really, really pleased for Larry. Yeah. And for Ron, who's the guest of honor at Joefest this weekend.
Again.
Yeah.
He's a repeat offender on that guest of honor.
They like, as I understand it, they like to travel. So
yeah.
So, and they haven't. This is the first thing he's done since the pandemic hit. So they're on the road again.
So yeah, if anybody has any deep questions about the Hasbro live stream from yesterday, just go check out their YouTube channel when we're done. It's about 45 minutes long, so it's not going to take up your whole morning. But a nice little synopsis as we head into the final turn of this movie being premiered, despite what Mark says.
Allegedly rumored.
But next news item.
Right
on top of it.
Right, kind of an offshoot. The Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins pre-orders are live. And in some cases, the orders are live. In conjunction with yesterday's live stream, pre-orders open for the new non-classified figures for Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins. That's those 6-inch figures that don't quite have the articulation of the classified toys, but
the height.
Cool. Or the height, apparently. All the reviews say that they are a square 6 inches, not a little bit above 6 inches like the classified ones are. But they're available anywhere you buy toys, including Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, Amazon, Dorkside, or any number of toy retailers. I was contacted just a little bit ago by our own Phil Donnelly, Biff McHonky Donk himself, saying that Amazon's orders are live. They're not taking pre-orders. They're asking you what you want to buy right now.
I ordered a Storm Shadow Wednesday night, and apparently it arrived today back in Rhode Island. So
holy hell!
Yeah,
with or without motorcycle.
No, this is just the 6-inch figure or 5 3/4-inch figure or whatever. We'll see when I get there.
So I'm excited for those figures. I think they look fun. They look exciting. The decos are really vibrant, and the Night Creeper is the winner of the bunch. It's really cool.
Absolutely. And they're good enough for the Night Creeper that doesn't have a classified version. Yeah, you could stand them in, maybe hide them in the back. But
yeah, they fill up crowds for sure.
For $10 at a 6-inch scale with good sculpting and some weapons, that's great. I got no problem with that.
Too. They're not $10 bricks.
Yeah, good enough for collectors to consider, but they're there for kids. And my God, when was the last time they made something kid focused? Creo?
Rack Time Rob knocking it down right there. Great for the kids is great for the brand.
Exactly. So I hope collectors understand that. And I'm not going to grab all of them, but I grabbed one because I want to see, how is this? We'll find out.
I mean, you got a public to inform and entertain.
Right. Plus children at home who normally don't get to use dad's toys. Hey, put that down. You're the kid who broke Megatron. And Mirage. And Mirage. That was the worst. You had G1 Mirage twists in the middle. Yeah. My son, who's normally good with Transformers, grabbed him and just went. There's no fix for that, Derek.
Broke him like a Kit Kat.
No, he made me 2 Mirages, right? Doubled my money.
He's helping you out, man. So you gotta think big picture like that.
Yeah, he was cosplaying the Alien Queen.
He was cosplaying movie Megatron, only he didn't realize it was Jazz, not
That's
Mirage.
It. Yep. Maybe Mirage was masquerading as Jazz. Now we're talking. Because there ain't nothing Joe Colton likes more than robot cosplay.
Robot talk with Joe Colton. Ryan, how are you on the robots?
I like robots just fine. I got one dedicated shelf in the room to robots that I think is done. I may have bought my last Transformer.
What finished it off?
The Shattered Universe Hot Rod.
Okay.
That's such a cool figure. He's got the goatee. Yeah. I love the black and purple color scheme, and that's just a really cool toy where you can convert from Rodimus to regular Hot Rod. Rodimus Uticronus, I think, is his real name.
That's
like
what
how
it's
the real Hot Rod. I like that the real Hot Rod murdered Optimus, and then they decided they needed an evil version.
Well, and they had to put the beard on him, otherwise there'd be no way to tell.
Right, yeah, because you got to be Garth Knight, right? You got to throw on, or Spock, right? You got to throw on a little facial hair to show you're turned to the dark side.
I don't know. I think he looks like Lemmy from Motorhead.
Yeah,
he does kind of. Yeah.
Nice. Yes, I'm laughing because it's true.
Yeah,
yeah. No, it's
like
it's a pretty good likeness. Pretty good likeness.
But yeah, we'll take a moment here just to remind everybody who's new, because Lord, we're having a good night in the live stream. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, like our video, leave a comment, do all the funny YouTube things. If you're watching us on Facebook, just hit the little thumbs up button or one of the little react buttons so that they know you're paying attention. We really appreciate it. That helps grow the channel, helps us get us in front of more eyeballs, and we really appreciate that.
Now, what can you do if you're an audio listener? Leave a review, maybe?
Yeah, leave
an app because it helps the most.
Leave a review is good. We don't have too many of them lately, but even better, head over to YouTube and subscribe. Even better. Even if you don't watch the YouTube, just leave the comfort of your audio podcast. You're going to YouTube for something, whether it's a cooking video or what have you. Just make a quick stop at what's on Joe Mind and just hit the little.
It says subscribe, but it means support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Let the boy support the page.
Those figures are checking in at $9.99 a piece, pretty well universally, regardless of where you try to buy them from. So, Mark will have his Storm Shadow in hand for next week. We'll take a look at it then.
Why'd you go with Storm Shadow?
It was the only one available Wednesday night. The other ones were all sold out. So I was like, all right, cool. We'll get for $10. I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Let's see.
Didn't matter for $10.
I would have gone. I wasn't necessarily after Snake Eyes because there's a lot of Snake Eyes stuff coming. And if there had been a Night Creeper up, I certainly would have gone for that. But Storm Shadow, Baroness, There's a Scarlet too, right?
Yep, and a red ninja.
Well, the Red Ninjas are all pre-sold to Joe.
Joe
But
up already.
Scarlet's got red hair, so she's good in my book.
So next news item.
Doot.
The Houston Astros are the worst franchise in the history of sports. Next news item.
Doot. Oh, wait, hang on. My Jose Altuve authentic jersey is buzzing.
The Jazzwares Domes Wave 1 is revealed. As we reported several months ago, when everybody thought Jazzwares was going to be making 4-inch G.I. Joes. And we debunked it and whatever. Nobody wanted to listen to us until we were 100% right. Because we went and got Bobby Vala, who worked at Jazzwares, and said, no, they're not doing anything like that. Anyhow.
So I guess you did name your source.
On that one we did, yeah.
Name your source, Mike.
Yeah, it
wasn't a secret. It
was Bobby.
He was on the show.
Did it on the program. You were there.
If you were a man, you'd name your source.
His name's Bobby.
All right, fair enough.
Anyways.
He's here, I can double check.
Yeah, absolutely, by all means.
Okay. He means in the room. He could just turn and yell, Bobby!
Bobby! The meatloaf!
Mike's named names!
Anyways, the first offer.
Wait, how creepy would that be if I just said, hey, Bobby, and he showed up? Yeah, what's up, Webb? Oh. He's got nothing better to do this week.
You're out in the wild, so there's the opportunity to perhaps get a peanut butter shake is in the air.
Right? He's got one weakness, man. It's like Candyman. Order a peanut butter shake, and Bobby Vala magically arrives next to you. Wow.
In a puff of peanut butter.
It's got to be inconvenient for him. Right? He's in the middle, he's driving, and all of a sudden he gets summoned by the peanut butter shake.
Look, man.
Like that show, Where Was Rodney, where the kid named Rodney could just summon Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, fine.
It's all about priorities.
I'll tell you.
But anyways, domes are those small statues that are enclosed in the clear plastic.
I got domes. Gravity Falls domes.
There we go.
The first wave is it's a box set. It is Duke, Cobra Commander, Snake Eyes, and Storm Shadow. You can order the set from Amazon for $14.99. We have the link way down at the bottom of the comments there, or the description. So be sure to hit that up if that's something that you're interested in. I have no great love for these domes, but sure.
I'm interested in them. I'm definitely going to get that 4-pack so I don't have to bother with the blind boxes. I have a whole shelf of this is some other interpretation of G.I. Joe, and I think that'll fit nicely in there. The cool display, and I like that it's based on the card art, and it's just kind of made 3D. It's a little bit chibied with the big heads, but still, it's a different interpretation of G.I. Joe that is fun to own.
And the packaging, like you said, the packaging is tremendous. It looks great. I still don't know why they didn't put the Ostriker on the front, but
what I don't know is why is anyone going to buy any of the blind boxes when you get the 4 main ones in that really cool package? I'm not going to buy a blind one for the off chance that I get Roadblock or Destro, or the really minor chance that I get the ceremonial Cobra Commander.
Yeah.
It's called cannibalizing your market, Jazzwares. Saving me the trouble.
Quick hockey break here. Tampa Bay leading the Islanders with 4 minutes to go in the second period, 1-0.
Why so many sports? I didn't know I was going to be on
rooting for the Islanders. Show. You're the Canadian. You're the Canadian. Come on now.
And I do not care. So the other day,
I
thought there were dogs fighting in my yard. And my wife was like, no, the Canadians just won a really big hockey game. And I was like, oh, that's happening. That's right. I am so checked out of hockey and sports in general.
28 years since Lord Stanley's Cup graced the frozen north.
Yeah, I think I watched the game when they last won.
Man.
I'm an Islanders guy, man. You got to – it was going to happen tonight.
I got to do nothing.
I'm
rooting against Tampa, just because Tampa, right, with the shift and the opener and all that garbage.
Florida hockey has no place in the sport. None.
No.
Only thing worse than Florida hockey, Houston baseball.
That's right.
Only.
I love Astro
Burn,
fans
I think.
Astros fans getting all riled up because pitchers are using illegal grip stuff, mainly them. And they're like, see, how's it feel now? No.
Not how that goes.
A league-wide crackdown is not the same as, oh, we caught you guys cheating in the World Series. No.
Next news item.
That's like the murderer going, how is that jaywalking charge? Huh? You like that? I see you got a parking ticket, you degenerate.
How you like that $25 fine, huh?
Yeah. You're con like me now. Feel the shame.
Next news item.
Doot, 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 doot.
Entertainment One has named a new member to its management team. E1 has added Gabriel Murano as the lead developer of Hasbro intellectual property, which includes G.I. Joe, Transformers, Power Rangers, and other franchises. He will also have the title of Executive Vice President of Scripted Television. So, I mean, nothing real specifically related to Joe there, other than, hey, they're growing the TV arm of things, so maybe we'll see something at some point.
Well, and Entertainment One is a Canadian company, and it's great for international distribution. Like, that is one of the big things about the deal with Hasbro, that Entertainment One is getting it in Canada and across the world.
I thought they were in Ireland.
Entertainment One, I am pretty sure they are a Toronto-based company.
Oh, it's a fight.
It's not a fight. I just don't know. I don't know.
Loser doesn't push up.
They distribute to Ireland, but no, they are based in Toronto.
Loser does a push up.
We only have we did that whole Dogs of Dunlager episode last year.
That's true.
So, you know, anyway.
Either way, yeah, it's good they got somebody. I don't know who the old person was or if there wasn't a person, but cool. Got to get the Joe brand will never truly roll until there's some kid-focused entertainment, whether that's web-based or even better on the television. So let's hope this is a point in the right direction.
Absolutely. And so next news item.
Doot, 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 doot. Houston sucks. Oh, sorry.
Diamond Select has released some images of the second entry from its new statue line. The first one was Destro, you remember, that cool one where he's shooting missiles off of his wrist. The second one is Snake Eyes and Timber, and we have some images to show there. Bear with me just a second as I figure out where my buttons are. Okay. So it's our one image tonight. I didn't do a whole lot of PowerPoint for this one. But there you can see Snake Eyes and Timber leaping into the fray. Very classic version 2 themed Snake Eyes there with the old hook sword, and it's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's nothing that new as far as statues for G.I. Joe, but man, it's well done. Like, if you look at the sword, the hand, he's got one hand on the hilt, and the other one looks like it's about to grab it so that he could really get some force down. And it's dynamic. There's a lot of nice texture to it, a lot of nice folds in his uniform. So it's not new, but it's good for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great. And the base, I think, puts it through the roof, right? The ice and the broken log, and just plays off the gray of the wolf and the dark of Snake Eyes' outfit. I think this is fantastic. Do we have a price on this?
We do. It is $49.99.
That's like a third the price I would expect for it.
Right.
And
How
it's
tall is
11, it's 11
Like
inches.
14.
11 inches. $49.99 on the pre. And Ryan, you had some thoughts about the detail on Snake Eyes' gear here. This is the back of the statue.
Yeah, this one shot really made me realize just how well detailed this was, because you can see the Rashkage logo is raised a little bit, but like, he's got the 2 sword sheaths, and then he's got a backpack under it. He's got the 2 kunai throwing daggers right there. He's got his Uzi tucked behind his back. A nice butt. Just overall, you can see a lot of what is going on with this statue and why it's so impressive, and all the good work that they did in the sculpting of it.
This is just the angle, but that Uzi looks tiny. Is that one of the old Enertech water guns?
I mean, maybe he's just got a little Uzi.
Maybe it's more of a Mac 10 and not the full size.
Maybe it's a throwing Uzi.
Yeah.
That's it. Whack.
That's a big hunk of metal. That'll hurt.
It's not the size. It's what he does with it.
And then while the guy's like, "Did you throw an Uzi at me?" Boom, stabbed.
Honestly, you fight like a woman. Who throws a shoe?
You got to look out when they start throwing shoes, man.
Right? Random
last
pass.
news item.
Dude.
But since we got him here, somebody broke news about an upcoming G.I. Joe role-playing game.
It was me.
It was you.
Spoiler.
I have been waiting for them to make this some kind of official announcement forever. They announced last year that they got the rights to, I mean Renegade Game Studios. They announced that they got the rights to make games for G.I. Joe, Transformers, and Power Rangers, and they specifically said they're making a Power Ranger role-playing game. But they have never officially said they've got a G.I. Joe role-playing game in the works. So now we've got Renegade Con Virtual Special Edition coming out in a couple of weeks, July 16 and 17. And they are finally going to not only announce that the game is officially happening, but going into details about it. And I am super excited because I am one of the writers on the book. I'm also one of the people that helped do a lot of design for all three games. And it is a dream come true. And it's so awesome. And I'm so happy.
And I know we can't pester you for a lot of details.
You cannot.
Because
we can.
I mean, we could, but you couldn't tell us.
There we go. You might be surprised what I can tell you. So pester me and we'll see what I pester back.
Did you remember, did you write a large spotlight for Backstop?
The Canadian.
Come on. Of course, there's at least one mention of Backstop in that book.
Are there any Cobra explosive EOD type troopers outside of Firefly?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Guys who were basically wearing like a trash can to keep them safe.
Is this just a funny concept, or are you referencing something I'm not understanding?
No, he's trying to.
I'm making fun of the classified figure.
Oh, there.
Does the Baroness cheat on Destro with any Joe but Steeler?
It's a role-playing game. If you want her to,
right?
She can cheat with everybody but Steeler.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, anyways,
dying for that Baroness fridge matchup for years.
Hey man, the fridge has had a rough go of it lately. You know, he deserves.
I just gave him the Baroness.
Deserves a win. So I'm just saying I shouldn't be laughing. Fridge deserves a win.
That's why I gave him the Baroness.
But there's a legitimate question from the gallery there. Is this a build on an established RPG system, or is this something completely new?
So that is the main thing I've been told I cannot talk about. I cannot talk about the system, and that is what's going to be announced at the virtual con.
Okay. So rather than us pester you with lots of weird little details about the show from last week, which you clearly haven't seen.
I didn't. I'm sorry. You're right. No, you know what? I think I could go on YouTube now and see how much of it I watched. I didn't get to the end of the episode, unfortunately.
No. We really dropped off about 35 minutes in. It got kind of lame.
Yeah, you and me both.
We just drifted in and out. Really, it was.
Yeah.
Anyways, why don't you tell folks how they can get themselves the first news at the virtual convention itself? Why don't you plug the convention that we'll be?
All right. So the convention is Renegade Con Virtual Special Edition. It is free for all, but you can go to eventbrite.com and register specifically. There will be virtual panels going on for 2 days, Friday, July 21st. No, sorry, July 16th, 2021. And, it's 3 days, all the way to Sunday, July 18th. So it's going to be panels. It is going to be focusing on all three of those games: the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers role-playing game, Transformers role-playing game, and G.I. Joe the role-playing game. We are going to have some announcements about when to expect these games, but I don't even know if we know for sure, just because of so many production and shipping delays. So we've got estimates, and the goal is to get them out this year. So exactly when to expect them will be announced at that con. how to play the game, demos of creating characters. What else have we got here? Demos of current and upcoming titles in your favorite universes. And dive into the product lines, because although we know for sure that there's going to be core rulebooks for these, it doesn't mean that's where the license ends for what we're doing with these role-playing games.
So,
Nice.
so it's G.I. Joe, Transformers, Power Rangers.
Those are the three, yes.
You personally, just as properties, nothing to do with the RPG, how would you rank those on a scale of G.I. Joe to Power Ranger?
G.I. Joe, then Transformers, then Power Rangers. And
That's what I'm talking about.
Power Rangers came out at a time where I probably would have loved it, but I did not have the channel that Power Rangers was on. And so I was also at the age where if I didn't have access to it, it sucked. And so anytime my friends were talking about it, it's like, oh, that's just Voltron. What are you talking about? Right. But anytime I actually did catch the show, I was enthralled. It was fascinating. What was this show that I did not have access to, and all my friends thought was the coolest thing?
We were the same way with Battle of the Planets. We didn't get it in Oregon, but they had it in Michigan. So when we'd visit the grandparents, we're like, oh, yeah, we're watching some Battle of the Planets. It's the forbidden fruit. Can't wait for 7 Zark 7 to give them their mission.
That show used to be on when we were growing up. It was Sunday morning at like 7 a.m.
That's a good slot.
Yeah, the folks weren't even awake to go to church yet. But we were watching Battle of the Planets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
And then when Power Rangers came on, you're like, okay, that's enough TV.
No, when Power Rangers came on, I was in college. So yeah, it just didn't work out. Wasn't so good.
I wonder if I had been the right age, if Power Rangers would have meant something. But
my roommate was addicted to Power Rangers. He watched every day.
Every day.
Did you ever dress up in foam noodles and act badly in front of him? Same difference.
Yeah, I mean, probably.
Yeah.
It sounds like something we would do. So
yeah, it's a college thing. Yeah. There are some shows that are meant for drunk college kids, like Yo Gabba Gabba. That's not a kid's show. No way. Anyway,
so if it sounds like going forward, if we're being evasive to RPG questions, it's because we have to be. Ryan is under contract. He cannot reveal details at this point.
Non-disclosure agreement.
Absolutely. Airtight, non-disclosure. We're not testing him on that.
I had to beg to even say that I'm attached to it so that I could promote it personally. Because if you look, I've got a Facebook post where I shared it. It's got like 200 likes and like 100 comments, people thanking me. But the week before, I'd also shared a thing about the con just existing, and it got like 2 likes because it just kind of was like background noise. But as soon as I say, like, look, this is what's happening, and here is why I care about it, you know, friends, family, people in the Joe community were like, oh, that is cool. Exactly.
Yep.
It's tough right now because everybody is so... it almost is noise, right? It's just we're getting this constant stream of, oh, hey, this show's back on, it's coming up this weekend, and this show's back on, it's coming up this weekend, and this show's still going to be virtual, and it's coming up soon. And so it's like we're getting inundated with all these show things again, which we clearly were not used to for over a year. So it did get it. I'll admit, I don't remember seeing the initial post, but I remember seeing this one.
Mm-hmm.
You contact me almost right away, trying to get me the scoop interview on their show.
Let's talk about
that. Right.
And now we're talking about it.
I went full Johnny Sexy Pipes.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought we wore that out last week, but no.
Update on last week. I got 8 minutes into the episode. I'm sorry.
You didn't hear us.
We went you didn't even get the Guilty Pleasures intro. Come on.
We went full Barry White last week. It was tremendous.
Oh, here we go. Mark, I think I can unmute you, so be ready. Be ready.
I'm scrolling.
couldn't unmute you, Mark. I'm sorry.
Pleasures so red-handed, they're guilty.
So
all show long, we never stop.
I will go back and I will watch the show.
Look what you missed.
It was so
sorry.
good. And the best bit was Mike didn't share it with Joe or I. And when he said, well, it's time for the Guilty Pleasures segment, I said, we need some Rick Rude music for this or something. Bam!
Why? Yes, we do.
Mike all of a sudden hit this thing, and I went, how did he do that? I just asked for it. It's like wizardry.
So you know what's funny? I was scrolling through the preview pictures of that video, and I didn't know that these were guilty pleasures. And I was just looking at like, oh, Target, one of my favorites. Hey, the mobile battle bunker. I love that thing. I had no idea these are like the things you're not supposed to love, but do anyway.
They're the ones that maybe the purists frown upon, but the ones that we love. So it's a very love segment.
Purists frown upon Target? He has the best backpack.
Oh, Target.
Target. Sorry, yes, Target.
Okay, Mark, you got to enunciate.
Yes, people do frown upon Target. I'm not surprised to hear that.
Target and I have a very big problem, but Target, that guy's cool.
So
he's got a gun on a bracelet.
It's because he's flying around. He needs a stabilizer.
So it's if you missed last week's episode, which it seems like several folks in the live chat did, go back and watch it. We had some fun with that one. Go back. Pick that one up. That's not one you want to miss.
Right here at JoeCon, I saw an Invader for $25. Seemed like a steal. And then I saw a mobile whatever bunker in questionable condition for $40. I'm like,
questionable condition. That thing can take a beating. What happened to it?
It just didn't have all its stuff, I don't think. But for a gag, $40 for a gag gift is a little steep. Like I could get two beachheads with broken crotches for that.
You know what? You can carve it out, make a cool helmet out of it. Cosplay as the mobile battle bunker.
Even if
down just terrain.
Even if the mobile battle bunker doesn't have all its stuff, it still carries a lot of corpses.
That's true. With that cow catcher on the front, just load them up. Maybe it's a Battle Force 2000 vehicle, right? That they just load all their dead bodies into when it's time to go home.
But that doesn't make sense. You can't put it next to some other thing and pretend it's a fortress.
Well, you couldn't do that with the Battle Force stuff either, to be honest. So
I know. Future Fortress was the biggest lie.
Right.
Yeah, that's a tough one. A little bit of a QC issue there.
So, yeah, it's a good time. So, anyhow, we do have a little bit of time. We take a couple of questions from our live stream viewers. If anybody has something that's related to stuff we can actually talk about, we certainly have a few minutes for that. So, Ryan, take us while we're waiting for those to assemble, man. What you got behind you there?
What don't I have? So up there, I've got my Terradrome and the armored column. So it's side to side HISS tanks of various sorts and color. We've got some HISS 2s, HISS 3 in the front as well. The Cobra battle bunker, the one that's immobile, right in the middle, and at least one buzzbore.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, and we've got the Mantis mech, I believe it was, the one that came with Destro from the Sigma 6 line. That's right behind the battle bunker. Let me scroll back and grab that. This guy, which fits a 3 3/4 inch figure, not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a fun toy. I really did not care. Like, I love Sigma 6. I did not care for the 2.5 inch stuff.
Yeah.
Some of those vehicles were a lot of fun. And it was just a shame of how close it was to something I wanted. So this actually is the only G.I. Joe mech I own because it's the wackiest one, which is the one that just deserves to be in my collection.
I still can't fathom that they said we're going to greenlight tooling for a different scale on Sigma 6 and then chose not to make it 3 3/4.
Well, and then make it a vehicle line and have the figures not compatible with the vehicles. Like they were all pre-posed. They had bases glued to their feet. Most of them, if they didn't come with the vehicle, were useless for the vehicle. Some of them that came with the vehicle were useless for the vehicle. It was I'm the second biggest Sigma 6 fan out there, but there is no forgiving a lot of the choices for that 2.5-inch line.
A lot of headaches.
If they had done that, if they had done that 3 3/4, and here, it's a stretch, but had good animation to support it, that line might still be going today.
You know what? Second season, I liked it. I think it's solid. It's just the first season was so bad that there was just so few people that held out for the second season. But the mystery of who was sabotaging all the Joe missions and the Firefly as a deep cover Joe operative, it was interesting. And Lieutenant Stone was an interesting character. Like there was a lot of additions in the second season that made the cartoon worth watching.
I tried to watch it from the beginning earlier this year.
Oh no, that's your mistake.
And I got 2 episodes in, and I was just like, nope, we're done here. We're
Further
done.
Than a lot of people.
Anyhow, so first question from the folks is, which celebrity do you predict Bobby Vala will introduce this weekend to join Action Force?
CM Punk.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Yeah,
a lot of people are predicting. There's I don't know her name, but there's a female MMA fighter who he has a that's I almost said had a relationship with. Let's back that up. There's a gal who rocks Valaverse on her fighting gear, and some people think that that's such a natural tie that she'll be put in. But Bobby thinks bigger than that. I got no inside baseball on this. Not that there'd be anything wrong with that, but Bobby knows what he's doing and is very, very calculating. So
yeah,
I would expect. No. Well, I would go with the MMA gal because I think that's possible. But I think, like when Bobby was about to announce Slaughter, he was like, he didn't tell anybody. I mean, like I helped Bobby on a very small bit of Valaverse, and he was like, it's big, Webb, and I'm like, I'm not going to push you, if you're not comfortable sharing it, but it's not going anywhere because I'm your boy and I'm a journalism grad, so protect my source and all. And he was like, yeah, I can't share it with anybody because it's that big. And I thought, okay, we'll see if he can live up to that hype. And then he dropped Sergeant Slaughter, right? Like, dude. So it'll be big, I think. I wonder if it's a real person though, right? It's a celebrity.
That's what we've been led to believe.
It's not a Muppet.
No,
it's not from the Muppets.
I'm just waiting to see, because Bobby's been so on top of the expired trademarks. I'm waiting to see which one of those he grabs next.
It's Ron Rudat.
Not that he needs them to define his line, excuse me, but I guarantee there's one of those coming at some point where you're like, how the hell did he get Xandar or something, right? Probably bigger than Xandar, but Beachhead.
Mark Webber, that's who's coming.
You know what? I could make that work. Could you imagine how disproportionate my head would be on a 6-inch figure? Feel like a bobblehead, right? Let's go. Fight Karak.
The Marine hat would sit on top like a little Donald Duck hat.
Right? It'd be so good. Comes with working propeller, so I can fly into battle with my Marine propeller Tweedledum hat. Now we're talking.
But what do you guys have against the mobile battle bunker? Nothing. It was Joe Colton's pleasure.
I'm just not dropping
the vehicles that would kill its driver if you fired the missiles. But other than that,
I'm not dropping.
It is most definitely artillery. It is most definitely a strategic emplacement kind of weapon as opposed to a tank. But yeah, there's no problems with it. I'm
not dropping. The only thing I have against it, I'm not dropping $40 on an incomplete one.
Right.
And you know what? Came out military green in an era that you could not guarantee a G.I. Joe vehicle was going to be green.
That's true. We'll see on Sunday. Maybe it's 20 on Sunday.
Does Ryan have a pogo? No collection is complete without one.
Then my collection is incomplete. I don't have a pogo. And the other thing that I regret not getting, I don't have the Cobra Rat. But there was one on the freebie table at a Canadian G.I. Joe convention one time. And I wore it for about an hour as my rat hat. And then I put it back on the freebie table. And every now and then I think back, should have taken that rat.
Such a bad toy. So bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was on the free
I thought
table?
it was striking. It's compact, so it wouldn't have a big footprint.
Ryan, you're way up.
Free?
You're way up in the frozen north. If you were at Joefest, what's the item that you're looking for?
I know I have a variety of items that I'm thinking I need to pick up, but on the spot, let's see. It's definitely some of the figures that I either don't have or I'm not happy with my copy of them. It's not coming to me, which is annoying because I was thinking about this the other day that I've got a small list of things that I really should get before prices just keep going up. Dang. Oh, more Techno Vipers. I definitely, now that I've set up the display, we didn't go through the full display, but I've got the Cobra Missile Command, the recreated one by J and R. Anyway, so I've got that, and now that I've got a full like tech area of the basement of the Technodrome, I realize I need way more Techno Vipers, and they don't even need to be complete. I just need some guys in purple suits walking around, being all science-y.
Fair enough. Mark Weber, who are you looking for?
I was going through my old figures. I put a picture on Facebook of the pile of Joe's H through R or F through R, I think, because I was looking for Leatherneck to have Ron sign the file card for this weekend. And I didn't realize that I have some file cards that are European, I think, or multilingual that I didn't want. It's just the version I happen to get. I would rather have the American version because Merca. And the ones I have are for really random guys, so they're going to be hard to replace. So I've got Major Storm, Updraft, and Hot Seat, the oldest G.I. Joe. Just three random vehicle drivers, I suppose, but he went gray 30 years ago, so deal with that, right? So anyway, I got to try to find those. I suppose ideally I could find somebody who wants the rarer version that I have, and we can just do a swap. But that's my
supply,
my
but
pie
no
in the
demand.
sky. Yeah, it's going to be hard to find that. I've got more that I'm looking for, but so much of what I need is stuff that nobody has, or if they do, it's through the roof. It's like Crazy Legs black rifle stock. I mean, everyone needs that, right? It's the heavy metal mic. It's a rebreather for the eel. An unbroken jump laser cannon that doesn't have the sighting thing broken off. Like, it's nothing. I mean, hard tops pistol, a couple of psi for the Ice Viper, Rumbler's rifle. Like, nobody's got that stuff. I know that's all going to be a torpedo right in the wallet if I ever find one. Oh, what's that? Rumbler rifle?
I got Rumbler's rifle. He goes with Rumbler,
just
though.
Loose?
So.
Yeah, right?
Not on its own. It goes with Rumbler.
Well, I could tempt you with a broken. Could I tempt you with a broken beachhead?
No.
Yeah. No, when I say nobody has them, I just mean nobody's parting with them, right? Yeah. Like if you have a couple of Secto Viper helmets laying around, you're probably not throwing them up on eBay. They probably belong to a Secto Viper who needs them underwater. So, yeah. But that doesn't mean I came away empty-handed today.
So what'd you get?
That's called a teaser. That's a teaser.
That's right. All right. So if I was there, I'm still mostly packed up from moving last year. So I just, if I was at Joefest, I'd be looking to add to Beach Party 86, and that's about it. Once I get unpacked a little bit more and have a little bit more space, then we can actually collect again.
I'm scouting out here. We'll see if any beachheads show up in the proper shape/price ratio. So far, no deal.
There's definitely a diagram for that with the crossing.
I got a broken one for 20 and what looked like a complete one for 40, and neither one is hitting that sweet spot.
Yeah. Anyways, good question here. What do you guys think of those unpainted classified Alley Viper and Cobra bat heads discovered this week? Fake or possible early drafts of the real deal? I mean, could be both, but I think the possibility exists that those are legit because we have every indication to think that both of those characters are coming to the classified line pretty quickly. You know, Alley Viper's all over the art for the line to this point. Bat showed up or bats were pretty prevalent in the video game in G.I. Joe Operation Blackout. So it stands to reason that there's plans for both of those to be included in the classified line. Now, whether what has been found in that one photograph is Hasbro's actual molds for those pieces remains to be seen, but could be. I'm not ruling it out. We didn't really dedicate any time to it because I can't confirm it with anything. Like, I have nothing positive to add to that. So, you know, we just have to let it ride until there's more evidence one way or the other out there. But it could be.
The curious thing about the bat head is that it's a battle damaged head, which you would think would maybe be the variation or like a second version. But would the first version come with battle damaged parts? It would be an interesting direction to go with the bat, but you also want to make sure you're getting the alternate hands, ideally on both sides. You'll probably need the backpack to hold the alternate hands, unless it's incorporated into the torso in some way. So I don't see them having a lot of spare parts in for the accessories to have alternate heads for that figure, because they haven't been doing a whole lot of alternate heads. You've got the Baroness with the alternate head, and I think that's the only one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a good point. There's no reason to burn that on the initial release, because it's not like classified bats are going to have trouble selling, right? But if you can bring it back for a second kick at the can, so to speak, absolutely, that's a good call. And yeah, I don't know, it could be, especially neither characters are a stretch. It wasn't like they showed us Serpentor and Lifeline, right, or something that was totally out of left field. So maybe, but it's also, if I wanted to do a hoax, those are heads I would pick, right? Yeah. Because it seems legit from a conceptual standpoint. But wasn't the original bit, hey, these were found in the trash outside a factory? Like, come on. And guys are so good at 3D printing now that, you know, it could be real. But if I had to put $100 on it, come on.
Yeah, I'd be holding on to my $100.
What do you think? About an 80% chance this is a hoax or not accurate? I think so.
Yeah, I that's probably about right.
Yeah, could be, but probably not.
It's watch the next two figures they put out be the Bat and the Alley Viper, but but still, like what Ryan said is right. Like, why would they, or what Mark said was right? Why would they do a battle damage on the first run? Right. Like that part of it seemed to me like, well, maybe they just got a hold of one of the ones they did for the 4-inch bat a few years ago and just kind of played with that to where it scaled up.
It does look almost exactly like that design too.
And if you're Hasbro, I mean, this is just me thinking, why would you put out 2 Cobra Troop builders at the same time, right? Spread that out. So, yeah, we'll see.
But we've also determined, Mark, that as far as character selection goes, you tend to make a little bit more sense than some of the folks over there.
And look where that got me.
Right? That's what you get, man. Cut that shit out.
Stop making sense. Stop making that money. We're tired of it.
That is nonsense.
Right?
But only other alternate head is movie Snake Eyes, movie Storm Shadow too. But
yeah, I forgot about them.
But yeah, it's that's, again, not to say that Alley Viper and Bat aren't coming. Yeah, we're not saying that, because they're definitely coming, right? They just, the only thing that would keep them from showing up on our shelves is just a cataclysmic failure of either the product selling or product production, or just something just terrible, unspeakably so, happening. But nothing's keeping them from showing up. But
they almost came out. They almost made the Alley Viper as a Cobra Island exclusive. Then someone was like, "There's no alleys on Cobra Island," and they canceled the whole thing.
That's a good point.
All of a sudden, that pesky logic stuck in there, and it was just no more.
Well, and both things can be true. Hasbro could be working on those figures right now, and those heads might still be fake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
First word out of my mouth. Maybe both.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We are totally speculating on that. I don't want anybody to take any of that What's on Joe mindset? No. Because we don't know nothing. If we knew something, we'd tell you. We've done that in the past. If we can confirm stuff, we roll it out to you.
The title of the show is literally asking what? Like, what do people know about? Not us.
Yeah, we don't know anything. And we've got a 10-year reputation backing that up.
So that'll be enough for crowd questions for today. Thank you everybody in there for joining us. Make sure that if you're here, you are subscribing, setting yourself up for notifications. Leave a comment because that really helps us get us distributed. And of course, like the video, all that other good stuff. Make us happy. Make us happy, and we'll keep doing shows.
That's it.
So that brings us into what we got in. Me, I got nothing. So Ryan, what'd you get? What'd you bring in this week or the last couple?
Since the last time I was on?
Right.
Look at that.
I'm looking at it. But specifically, my most recent acquisition, I managed to find the Classified Baroness in stores. Not the movie version, the one that came with the coil cycle, which I was super excited about because I didn't think I would ever own it after it was a U.S. exclusive. There was talk about the Canadian Toys R Us's having a deal with U.S. Targets, but then the only stuff we got it seemed like Roadblock. In theory, the entire wave Roadblock showed up here, but I have only ever seen hundreds and hundreds of Cobra Island Roadblock on the shelves in Canada. So for just recently, so over a year after her initial release, for Baronesses to suddenly start flooding Toys R Us's, and for me to be able to go to a Toys R Us and find one, and I left a couple more on the shelves. Like this was a dream come true. And opening her up, she's a better figure than I even thought she would be. That snake laser is super cool. The different shades of black and gray to her armor are really striking in person. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with the coil cycle, but as far as having that Baroness, I'm very happy with that purchase.
Yeah, it's
so cool to see.
Go ahead, Mark.
I was just saying it's so cool to see it as it should be, right? A great figure readily available on shelves. Like who knew?
No purple hair.
No purple hair.
But it's funny how a character who's been out for almost 40 years, and they did the best version of it the last time out.
Mm-hmm.
Funny.
I mean, really, we talked about it last week. Like the Destro, the Major Blood, and the Baroness are the absolute cream of the classified line. Like absolutely top shelf. I
mean, Flit and Lady J are up there too, and Regal Cobra Commander. You know what? There's more hits than misses in this line.
Oh, absolutely.
The ones I mentioned didn't have brutal chest cuts, kind of marking them down a full grade.
Oh, okay, that's right. I forgot just how much you hate a bad chest cut.
Yeah, that's a thing. So Deathstroke gets away with it a little bit. Blood is great, and Baroness is phenomenal. So
Blood is great.
Yeah,
there we go. Blood. Dream of mine just to walk into a Toys R Us again.
I mean, we got them. Come on up to Canada. I've been to 4 different ones in the last couple of months.
Jerk.
Are they letting us into Canada yet?
No, sorry. Eventually come on up to Canada. Hopefully we still have Toys R Us's by then.
You dirty, diseased Americans. Get your stuff taken care of, and then come up and see us.
Right. Get your shots.
Get it all
figured out. Suddenly you got better than us. You were getting all those shots out there while we were still waiting.
Oh, we still have them just sitting in refrigerators, and people are choosing not to.
No, those expire.
Anyways, I don't want to go.
Sorry, yeah.
Make myself angry. But Mark Weber, it's time.
Yeah.
We're gonna pay off that teaser.
Yeah. So I didn't do a lot of shopping today, but I got a couple cool things. So look at that.
What is that? Just so you can tell us.
It's a Sonic Viper file card, and I honestly don't know if I have this or not. I'm pretty sure I have the figure, but it's so neon green. Like it was $3. Like I'm in. Even if I have it, I'm not mad I bought it. So we're good with that. And then going through my old, it's funny when you go through your old. I used to be able to count on the old memory on what I have and what I don't. But going through some of the old boxes, I got 2 spirits. Didn't know that. They're in varying degrees of blue degradation. So, you know, in about a week, I'll have one really good spirit and one really bad spirit. So that's coming soon. But I found my
one to experiment all those peroxide tests on, right?
Yep, absolutely. But I found my Flash figure. When I was a kid, I replaced all the straight arms with swivel arms in year 2. And I like Flash, not as much as Mike, but I didn't realize that my childhood Flash has almost all the paint rubbed off of the catcher's chest protector. So he looks terrible, right? And he was like, that's my guy. So I didn't bother. You know, I have him. I don't have to replace him. So I was out here saying, I wonder if I can get a cheap, you know, year 2 Flash replacement. And they had, it's funny, the straight arms are easier to find, at least at this show. So I was looking around at this little jammy right here. The most exciting part being the good paint job on the chest there. And the price is right.
Seriously, $10?
You kidding me? So I'm willing to bet I can Frankenstein the swivel arms and maybe the waist on the good old Flash here and give my childhood Flash
I would be careful with that because the tabs on the arms, the pegs, are oftentimes longer on the straight arm figures and don't fit swivel arm chests. So be careful with that one.
But will the swivel arms fit an original chest?
Possible. They're not all,
like
they don't all have the same diameter as far as where they stick out of the figure. So it may not.
All right.
Just be careful.
Well, maybe I've downgraded.
I'm gonna throw
Flash, but
I'm gonna throw this at you, Mark.
Yeah, that's probably a good point. Hey, how about Spirit?
We still do Lazy Bastard Customs. We just haven't. We're still trying to get the logistics on it down. So it's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Mike, do you remember, speaking of Spirit and Lazy Bastard Customs, do you remember what you said to me at Rollout Roll Call when I showed you the Action Force Spirit that I picked up?
No.
His crotch had been replaced with crotch from Ace, and you just said that crotch is Ace's.
That sounds like me.
Yep.
That crotch is Ace's. Hey. Cue Guilty Pleasures music. Anyways. But yeah, it's Lazy Bastard Customs is coming. Postcards from Loser Town is coming. We still want to do post sock, but people quit writing us letters.
I'm sorry. I'll start writing you more letters.
Maybe if we get some more post sock letters, we'll do a post sock segment, but it's going to be separate from the main show because we're trying to pay attention to time a little bit more. We don't want people to have to sit here and watch us for 2 hours. We're break it up a little bit.
I'm going to send you 12 questions for the post sock, but they're all going to be about the G.I. Joe role playing game.
More joy. Yeah, we'll do that, and then we will get you on as the expert to answer your own questions.
Oh, but I'll do it before Renegade Con, so I can't answer the questions.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, because I'm the renegade.
Anything to take the trouble that you were trying to cause and turn it back on you, I will do that. Because that's what this is. This is a game.
Oh, not the spores.
So we lost Mark. He's working on hotel Wi-Fi.
You know what? You predicted we were going to lose him right away.
I figured we'd lose him a couple times over the course of the show. So I'm surprised it only happened once. So while we're waiting for him to get himself back in, why don't you go ahead and take shout-outs? Give shout-outs to the people that you're looking to give shout-outs to.
All right. I definitely want to give a shout-out to 3D Joes, because as Joe unfortunately has been slowly disintegrating off the internet and making us all sad, 3D Joes really has picked up a lot of the slack there, and it's such a fun website to peruse, because even if it's figures that I have, the spin around images that they've got on just about every single item that they've got up on that site, the products that they've taken the pictures of are so clean that it shows me this is what it looked like 40 years ago when you maybe took it out of the package for the first time. And a lot of the vehicles with all those dynamic shots, it's become such a fun resource to peruse. It's not just when I need to look something up, but when I just feel like looking up some G.I. Joe, it's a great way to spend some time.
Okay, you hear that? He's giving a shout out to 3D Joe's, Mark. So you need to tell Carson at Joefest
I can do that.
that Ryan
I'm breaking new ground. Have you heard about 3D Joe's?
Right?
Ryan Costello, king of the What's on Joe Mind post sock, says, "Hey, nice job."
It's a brand new site. It's going to be big. He has a panel tomorrow, so I can raise my hand like I have a question, and he'll be like,
Then
"Yes."
just let him know.
Ryan Costello, author of the new G.I. Joe RPG, says you rock.
Thank you.
And then-
you would rock if you.
and then
told him
I'll give
I
it
said he rocks.
I'll get quiet for like the 3 dots, ... and then I'll say, "Playboy."
And just to give another update, with 5 minutes to go in the third, Tampa Bay Lightning 1, New York Islanders 0.
So that's the third period. That's all the periods, isn't it?
I am not pleased.
Right? That's problematic.
So, Mark, you got any shout outs? Or you have more shout outs? I don't want
I'm going to shout out to What's on Joe Mind. Thanks for having me on.
That's solid. We'll take that.
That's
But for real. You've been an amazing resource for entertainment and news for the last 10 years. I've been a long-time listener, and this has been a lot of fun. So thank you for all you do for the community.
That's perfect.
How did we not have you in to guest host before?
It's the best.
There's been like early on when you did the like rotation of guests. So I was on for like 5-10 minutes. And, I may have done some call-ins using aliases also early on, but those days are behind us now.
Look, you could come back if you figured out a goofy mask. You could probably revive one of those, and I would not come.
I could. Oh no, you know what? I used to do segments for the show. I forgot about that. The collection connection.
You never finished them. You did like the first 2 parts, and then it was supposed to be like a 6-part series. You never got past the second part.
So you're saying it's on me?
It kind of.
All right.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, this is the first time co-hosting, and it's been fun. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad we could finally have you in. Like I said, we got you because you were making news this week, and then Joe Colton let us know, hey, I'm out this week, and we were like, well, I've got you on the line. Get some Tim Hortons. Join us.
Mm-hmm. Quebecois Blue.
For the record, we did not pay Ryan to say that. We don't have money.
I thought you were going to send me Techno Vipers. What do you mean you're not paying me?
I think I have 2. Oh, Mark's gone again.
Yeah.
We should have gotten his shout outs while we had him.
I'm sorry. Started blowing smoke up your skirt, and then he disappeared.
Torpedo Mike. You Chuck's mom. He was not Chuck's mom. No, that was a different gentleman. Ryan played different recurring characters. So,
are we keeping it a secret? I'm okay saying.
Well, I mean, I think Torpedo Mike's probably the only person that would remember Scorclops Supreme.
Yeah, the one-eyed ruler of the Scorpion terrorist organization.
Right. I mean, it's just Joe Self's like, Mike can pay you in beachheads. That's it. I ain't paying nobody in beachheads.
Yeah, I offered you a beachhead earlier, but you already had it.
It was the for the record, he offered the Funko Pop, so
yeah,
I got one. That's plenty. We don't need any more of those. We got one. That's good. He's right, just out of reach over there. I can't quite get to him. But I'll go for shout outs while we wait for Mark to inevitably try to come back to us.
Go for shout outs.
Give a shout out to Rack Time Rob in the other room, the unquestioned 4th man, indispensable, often overlooked 4th man of the What's on Joe Mind team. Hard at work today on a new Rack Time for your enjoyment, which will be up at some point, probably early next week.
I always assumed it was a comic rack, but once he started doing the Dead Game ones, it's like, oh, it's the torture rack.
The torture, right. Yes. Give a shout out to our sponsors at Kokomo Toys. Let's all sing the theme song here. Kokomo Toys.
Kokomo Toys.
Kokomo Toys.
Kokomo Toys.
For all of the fun they have provided in recent months and do a great job helping us advertise and get the word out. Give a shout out to Joe Colton, who is on assignment this weekend. So hope you come back, travel safe, have a good time, all that other good stuff. To our guest host, Ryan Costello. Thank you for joining us. Kind of short notice. And for saying nice things about us, despite the fact that I cannot pay you for those.
No,
that's all right.
Give a shout out to the Honcho down there in Joefest. Give a shout out to all of our other friends down at Joefest, from Roma Collectibles to 3D Joe's and Carson to Call Sign Longbow, Troy McKee and John Kukovic, who we just met a couple of weeks ago, to our good friend Brian Cummings, the voice of Dr. Mindbender. He's been on the show any number of times. And I know anytime you make a list, you invariably forget somebody, but believe me, it just, if they're at Joe Fest, Bobby Vala, we've talked about him all night and I almost left him off the list. But if they've talked about him on the show, they're probably at Joe Fest in some way, shape or form. So, give a shout out to them, and so that everybody has a good time and safe travels home. Mark, you got any shout outs?
Just one to my dad, John Weber, who taught me the value of persistence and hard work.
Aw.
There's some kind of riddle attached to that, I'm sure.
There's always a twist, right?
We'll get that off the show because post show is better than actual show.
That's what I'm talking about. And by the way, if I drop off again, I am not coming back.
Right? No.
Yeah, no.
So that about wraps it up from Indianapolis, from Montreal, and from Augusta, Georgia. Thanks for joining us here on What's on Joe Mind. It has been a joy bringing this to you. Be sure to be back next Friday night for another episode of What's on Joe Mind, and we will catch you next time out. Good night, everybody. Get yourselves vaccinated. Be safe. Be smart. Have a great night.
Beer.